to start this anyway, because I've now moved, well, because I've got screens back and I'm set back up in the office, it's kind of messed up some of the configuration, so I don't quite understand why the time is now underneath the date, but the date's more important. So this is just to give you a quick update on where we're at. So I've created a live version now that's got a slightly different database connection or a node, so that it's separate to kind of the development one to some degree, and that's so you can see which instance you're connected to at the top here with the, and this one's called Good Start Bad Start. So this is version 0.015D is what I'm calling it. Basically there's been a few adjustments in terms of how the spatial objects are arranged, which took a bit of work because now it's doing it very differently, but it means that everyone has shared objects now and shared connections and shared positioning, which is cool, while still having control over your own objects. So I'll just jump into here and give you a little bit of a walkthrough of some of it. We've had a bit of a play today. I think there's definitely some performance issues that I'm now hitting, but we'll see. So if I click now in, I get like a slightly different updated view, and I can now create, and you'll see these are now appearing all together in the spatial view. And if I edit this text and then click finish, I can now move these around, which is good. And anyone else that is connected as well, the same would happen for them. So for example, let's see if I can get to show you that. So I'm just so you know, in the background I am launching another browser so that it doesn't have the same thing, and I will add one here. So you can see there that now I've added my other object here, and I can move it on screen, and you'll see that it gets. Now, the interesting thing, and I haven't quite worked this out, but if I go back to Firefox and I move this Safari one, what happens is I can move it wherever, but it doesn't get highlighted. So at the moment, the highlighting only highlights if it's your object, which is quite cool. So what I can now do is I move this one around. I'm being very deliberate with my clicks because the connections are a little janky. So let me create another object and just call this another thing. So I'm going to move that to here. Okay, so, and the other thing I'm doing is when I pick them up, I move them a bit, because then that means that cancels the clicking. It cancels the detection of a single click. So what I can do now is obviously I can click once on connection, click again on there, and it creates a line. Stream is a little bit slow by the looks of it, and it will update that for all connected devices. So you see that there, and then what I can also do is I can. You see, somehow I've made a connection to itself. Don't quite know how I did that. But if I do that, I can connect the two objects there. So you can see now I've got those two things connected, ignoring this line here. It did seem to be in a little bit of testing that we just did, that lots of extra lines were getting drawn, and again I couldn't quite work out why that was. And if you double click on any of these, it will load up the editor. But what you can't do is you can't edit someone else's. Yeah, it seems to be loading up the last one in your list if you double click something that doesn't exist by the looks of it. finish. And I can also add attachments, which you won't be able to see, but it's prompting your default OS's attachment dialog, and of course I can't find something to attach, so I'm going to attach my default picture, and you'll see now it's got that different shape, and it also is pre-populated with some text. So if I double click on this, I can edit the text and also see the attachment. Finish. And again, but if I double click here, it would open up the last thing I've added by the looks of it. Yeah. Let's try that again. Let's create a last item. I also know that if I move these around and then click off, I can get rid of the highlights. But I don't think I'm doing the highlights quite right. So I double click this one. Yeah, it just loads up the last thing. It's interesting. But I can't edit someone else's, so that's good. But I can connect to someone else's because connections and positions are now global. Anyway, other good news, things that took ages. There's now secure certificates across all of the related pieces. So I didn't realise before that if you come to try and fiddle around and edit, then what you will find is that you couldn't actually get anywhere, and it may be saved local stuff. So no wonder I wasn't seeing anything happening. Not that I'm expecting anyone to be really doing anything anyway. And then yeah, the main thing is if you finished and you're concerned about any local storage stuff, or you just want to clear up what you have done, you can just hit this, delete my contributions, including attachments. That will remove all of the bits and pieces. Oh, you can't see that on the screen for some reason. Oh, it's at the very bottom and the window's a bit small. So there is a thing at the very bottom that warns you that you can delete stuff. Hit that and it will just take you back to the main page.